Today, we want to talk about preparing yourself for a potential layoff.
Right.
We don't want you to live in the world of doom,
No.
but we do want you to live in the world of reality. And the reality is, in the modern workplace, especially now when there's a lot of change and a lot of uncertainty,
Right.
layoffs will take place and are taking place.
Mhm.
And depending on your industry, you may be seeing more of them.
Yes.
So, the best way to be prepared
Right.
when a layoff comes knocking on your door
Mhm.
is to take a few steps in advance. And that's what we're here to talk about today.
Absolutely. And I just want to say one more thing.
Yeah.
It's also the best way to reduce your anxiety because when you actually feel this is out of your control,
Yeah.
you do not have control over what your company's major decisions are going
That's right.
to be. And so if this is if this is something that's happening in your industry or at your company, you can take some of that control back by doing something. And number one, and right out of the gate, we always say, this is a stressful situation. And so you have to take really good care of yourself. You have to manage that stress. So getting good sleep, eating well. Oftentimes we want to indulge in alcohol because it just sort of numbs the pain. And I'm not saying you don't have to that you have to like take that off the table completely, but it's not going to set you up for success. It's not going to keep you in that place that feels healthy and strong and willing and able to endure something that's
And
really
there are healthier
challenging.
ways to let off steam, like
Absolutely.
exercising, something as simple as going for a walk,
Yep.
taking a class. And then maybe that also gives you the opportunity to have some social connection, which is
Yes.
another great stress reducer.
Yes. And sometimes it's just letting yourself cry, just like get out the anxiety and the heaviness of all of it. Doing some type of creative expression, whether, for some people that could be dance, that could be singing, that could be,
Drawing.
something
Yep.
that's drawing, ceramics, whatever it might be, doing something that is going to fill you up and make you feel good. That's always going to be your best bet is to really, when you are in a challenging time, to really take very good care of yourself. And then the other piece is that mindset.
Yep.
And I think a part of the mindset is yours. It's your own way that you're talking to yourself when this is happening. If you are panicking and you are thinking about every horrible scenario that will happen, that's not good. You are not going to be your most strategic. You are going to be in that fight or flight place. You are not going to make the best decisions for yourself. Instead, you should really put yourself in a positive mindset and pay attention to, I'm going down that rabbit hole.
Yep.
Just a simple correction. Oh, I'm going down the rabbit hole. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go take a walk. I'm going to get myself together.
I'm going to talk to somebody positive.
Yes.
Right.
And then, and then the last piece really is really paying attention to who you're putting yourself around. And if this is happening in your company, people are scared and fear is in the room. It's probably in every room you're walking in. And you can feed that fear and make it worse for yourself. And we're not saying be in denial because Susan's going to talk a little bit more about things that you can do, but it's really protecting your peace, it's protecting your own way of going at this. So.
And being and avoiding those negative conversations at work.
Because you can find them.
That's right. Exactly.
You can find that and you can compile all day long. And
if you take that energy and channel it into doing good work, it'll set you up better. Even if you are eventually laid off, you'll be leaving with a better recommendation, with a better success track record.
Sure. Let's talk about more of the tactical things that you can do.
Absolutely. So the first thing is you should update your resume and your LinkedIn. You're not going to be sharing them openly yet.
Right.
But make sure you take the time to update them and do them well. So whether that means taking a look at some of our other recorded material, taking a course, working with a coach, make sure they're done well. The LinkedIn piece is key here.
Yeah.
So even before you've announced to the world that you're looking for work, you can become much more active and should become much more active on LinkedIn, establishing yourself as somewhat of a subject matter expert or having an angle that's unique that talks about your field. You could be promoting your current company even, but showing yourself as someone who's talking about this topic is very important. Grow your connections.
Yes.
So often when we're gainfully employed, we ignore LinkedIn. LinkedIn is not just a job board. It's not just a place for looking for a job. It is a dynamic place for business to take place.
Absolutely.
And you want to continue to grow those connections while you're going through this. You should be doing it all the time.
Yeah.
But if you put that on pause, now's the time to really focus on growing those connections.
You just want to be in people's orbit, right? You want people thinking, oh my gosh, Susan, I loved working with her. Yeah.
Thank you. But to your point, the other piece of it is to be active on the platform. So you can connect with people. That's one way of engaging, but a better way is to be active on the platform by posting. So in our programs, as kind of a baby step into LinkedIn, we say post twice a week. And a post could be liking something. But if you're going to take the time to like something, at least comment on it.
Right.
Because when you comment on it, you can tag the person.
Yeah.
And now you come up in their field. You can tag the name of the company. Let's say somebody's saying they got a new job. Tag Kelly's name, tag her new employer, and now you're popping up in places that you won't normally pop up. As you get more comfortable with that, you could share an article that you've read. You can share something that's been on LinkedIn or comment on an article that's been posted on LinkedIn. And eventually, if you're a writer, and particularly if you're a true subject matter expert and a content creator, you may want to write your own article on LinkedIn. But think about the easy stuff. The easy stuff is commenting, sharing, being mindful of tagging, and even using hashtags. So if your audience is design program managers, do hashtag design program managers, because somebody's in LinkedIn seeking or searching for that particular job title, and then they might find you that way.
Yes.
Okay.
So so now we've talked about the platforms, we talked about your resume, we talked about LinkedIn, but what about in your workplace, with your manager? How should you handle that relationship?
You should be in closer contact with your manager. So the irony here is that, or the dichotomy is that usually if you're afraid you're going to get laid off, you're avoiding your manager because you don't want to give them the opportunity to lay you off. That's not they're going to lay you off. They're going to find you either way. So you want to have actually more engagement with your manager. You want to ask candid questions. Hopefully you've established a good relationship with your manager. They may not always be possible for them to be fully transparent with you. But say to them, Kelly, I just want to know, tell me right now, it would really help me, how likely it is that our team is going to be impacted.
Right.
What do you think?
You're in the know.
Yeah. Is it something that you see happening? If you do see it happening, is it within 6 months? Is it sooner? Get that information. Ask questions about your own personal standing. I know it looks like some of the teams are coming down.
Yeah.
If our team is brought down in numbers, would you think I'd be one of the first to go? I mean, these are tough questions to ask, but you're asking them for selfish reasons because you want to protect yourself. Ask for kind of a mini performance review. How do you think I'm doing? Where are some areas that I can improve? What could I do to make myself more indispensable so that I'm less likely to be laid off, so that I not only maintain my good standing, but maybe I enhance it. All right. These are really important conversations. And so you're kind of doing this, updating your toolbox, resume, LinkedIn, you're kind of getting active on LinkedIn, you're talking to your manager, but you should also start looking.
Yes. Yeah.
So you should start looking for two reasons. One is you might get laid off, but the other thing is if your company's going through layoffs, there's a chance the company isn't doing very well. It's usually what's happening. You might be in the better position to leave the company before you're laid off of your own volition. That's a much more empowering feeling.
Absolutely.
So again, you have to be careful. You don't want to go on LinkedIn and put open to work. You don't want to even put in a call to action, open to work.
Right.
Because ideally you want to stay where you are. But you can start kind of a soft search. Let your inner network know that you're considering new opportunities.
Well, even just taking time to meet with people, take that coffee, go to that lunch.
The things that you might avoid otherwise when you're really secure in your employment. Maybe start doing a little bit of exploring and assessing, talking to people about what they do. Another idea, especially if it's a very large organization, start building relationships in the departments or the divisions where maybe things aren't being heard.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, and I think this is a really good point too, that the layoff doesn't have to be all bad. It doesn't have to be all fear. It could be a time for some of you where maybe you've had a whisper for a while that you need to recalibrate, and this might be your opportunity. So looking at it as this may just be a gift that's being handed to you.
Exactly. Yeah. So there you have it. Some steps you can take to prepare yourself for potential layoff. We hope you're not laid off, but we hope that if you are, you're prepared for it.
Yes. And if you'd like to learn more about us and our programming, you can visit us at www.preparetolaunchu.com. Thanks.